Attacks hit across the United States today, and warnings coming out that this is just the beginning. Let's take a look at some of the latest headlines so that way you can see it for yourself. What has been unfolding today, March 12th, 2026. The ODU shooter shouted Allah Akbar before opening fire. The FBI says they're saying the attacks that are taking place seem to be tied directly to Iranian extremist terrorist attacks on U.S. soil, and we're hearing that today might be the initiation of sleeper cell triggers. FBI attack in Michigan synagogue was a targeted act of violence against the Jewish community. In addition to that, we had also heard earlier in the month, Texas gunman wore property of Allah hoodie and Iran flag t-shirt during attack, had photos of Iranian leaders at his home, sources say. Now, in addition to that, Iran sends out a suspected operational trigger. We had heard this just a couple of days ago to activate sleeper cells abroad after Khamenei's death. U.S. officials warned, they're saying that they believe the trigger has been activated. Now, we're hearing that Trump says that we have got our eyes on Iranian sleeper cells here in the United States, acknowledging the fact that they are here and they came in from the Biden administration's open border policies. Now, this comes as we just saw yesterday that the FBI had warned Iran aspired to attack California with drones in retaliation for war, according to alerts. And Trump said that he would be monitoring possible terror sleeper cells and potential for an Iranian drone attack in California. Now, that comes as in just the past couple of hours. Take a look at this. Carolyn Leavitt demands a retraction of ABC News story claiming the FBI warned Iran could attack California. She says, to be clear, no such threat from Iran to our homeland exists, and it never did. She is saying that this was a one-time warning that came out from one individual to one local authority in California. She is saying that we should not be alarmed about a potential drone attack in California, but let me know your thoughts. This comes as we have heard Donald Trump acknowledge it, Governor Gavin Newsom, local authorities, the FBI.
Shalom. Welcome back to another video. And as always, before I get started, I would like to give all the praise, honor, and glory to the beloved Heavenly Father in the name of His only begotten Son, Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rachakwadash, and double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who do rule well. Peace, love, and salutation to your Akim pushing this word and believing this word, as well as your few sincere Aqua believing this word. To you all that say Shalom, and may the blessing of election be upon your houses. It's your fellow servant, Malachi from the GMS Orlando camp, back with another quick lesson. And as always, I pray it be edifying to the hopeful elect. All right, here we are with another prophecy and current events update, where we filter what's going on through the world. We align it with biblical prophecy and show you that the words of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai are not returning unto him void, man. We are living in very prophetic times, okay? The world is going to shit, all right? And here we are standing firm in confidence, okay? In Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, man. Okay, but here we are. The sleeper cells have been activated, and this is what these devils have been waiting on. Okay, a reason to basically enact full outrage on Iran. Okay, we've been seeing enchantment after enchantment after enchantment, and don't think it's going to stop here. This is only the beginning. Okay, we're seeing mass shootings. We're seeing people drive into crowds of people in the name of Allah Akbar. How convenient in the time that we're in. All right, it almost seems as if these people were activated for a certain time, and that's exactly what sleeper cell is. All right, agents that have been strategically placed in a certain place. All right, whether it be for months, weeks, or even years. Okay, and they are to await orders, and when they are given the orders to raise up, they're then activated to commit these terrorist crimes, all right, for a certain purpose, a certain agenda. And that's exactly what we're seeing right here, all right? So we can't trust everything that we're seeing on the news, all right? Now, just because these things have been strategically been set up, that doesn't mean that these attacks aren't real. Okay, we know that when it comes to bloodshed, that's another cup of coffee to the so-called white man. He has no problem with shedding blood for an agenda. Okay, That's almost, a sacrifice in his eyes for the greater good. Okay, the more real it looks, the better. Okay, so I'm saying that to say, you know, us Akim, you Akwaf, we got to get to and from our destination. All right, don't be hanging out in places with large crowds. All right, don't be going over here, going over there. Go to and from your destination. Go get your groceries, come back. Go get your food, come back. Go do your thing, handle your business, and come back. All right, because now we in the times that are getting very dangerous, man. All right, and even though we have confidence that Yahweh Bashim Yahushai has a hedge of protection around us, we still got to be wise as serpents, man. Okay, but anyway, here we have a New York Post, as it says here, Islamist terrorists in the U.S. All right, and that's the narrative that they wanted to paint. All right, so they can crack down on the Iranians, man. Okay, we know that, according to these different, news outlets, that Iran have been giving belt to ass when it comes to the conflict between the U.S., all right, them and the Tiny Tops. Okay, you can't count on Western mainstream media to report to you what's really going on. All right, but according to different outlets, like I said, they have been reporting that, the Iranians have been out strategizing the U.S. Okay, and that's why it was rumored that the Tiny Tops, shot a missile over there to Turkey to try to get Turkey involved. Okay, they shot a missile over there, and then they tried to blame it on Iran, but Iran denied it. Okay, and Iran was in that spirit of, hey, if we did it, we'll tell you. They was in that type of spirit because they came forth. They said, hey, we took down a lot of military bases of the U.S. Okay, but we didn't send a missile to y'all. That wasn't us. Okay, so that means that all eyes are gonna go back to the Tiny Tops, man. Right, because it's not far-fetched that they'll do something like that. These are the same devils that bombed their own Twin Towers. They blame it on you-know-who so that they can wage war on you-know-who. All right, I'm trying to speak in code. If you know about 9/11, all right, Okay, but we know that these devils don't have no problem, man, shedding blood or, setting certain shit up to make things look a certain way. All right, those are part of his enchantments, the deception that he uses to control the narrative. All right, and we see that he's continuously and desperately trying to control the narrative. All right, and the more desperate he gets, the more his hand shows, man. Okay, everybody can read these devils, man. All right, synagogues are being attacked. Okay, they're saying that Tiny Tops are being attacked. Hate crime, domestic terrorists. This is exactly what he wanted, man. All right, that's why the scriptures tell us to never trust this devil. All right, he's always working deceits. He's always pulling that witchcraft on the left-hand side, man. And he does that through the mainstream media. Okay, this is Ecclesiastes 12:10. It says, never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. All right, so when he says that we won the war against Iran, don't believe this nigga, man. All right, because the U.S. embassy over there in Baghdad just got struck. All right, this shit ain't over. It doesn't matter how many peace treaties they try to put together. You see, it doesn't matter how many times they beg them to issue a ceasefire. Yahweh Bashim Yahushai is the one in control of all of this, man. All right. This is verse 11. It says, though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him. And thou shalt be unto him as if thou hast wiped a looking glass, and thou shalt know that his rust have not been altogether wiped away. Set him not by thee, lest when he hath overthrown thee, he stand up in thy place. And the different allies of America is getting ready to learn this the hard way. They're going to learn the hard way that they should have never set America by them. Okay, because now he's setting his eyes on Cuba. All right, the same way he did Venezuela. All right, now the Tiny Tops are talking about Turkey is becoming the new Iran. All right. So when these devils made deals, all right, with these different nations when it came to the oil, okay, he wanted to set up a garrison in that land or a military base in that land. okay? And he used that as leverage, okay, saying that, okay, you guys are going to be safe as long as we're here. As long as we're allied, you're going to be safe. But these different nations are starting to realize that that's the opposite. They're not safe because these different nations that are allied with America, all right, who allowed America to put bases in their land, they're being targeted, man. Okay, so these different nations are gonna realize that the tiny tops in the U.S., they're gonna get them into some shit, and sooner than later they're gonna cut ties with America, Babylon, the Great, man. All right, but it says here, neither let him sit at thy right hand, lest he seek to take thy seat, and thou at the last remember my words and be pricked therewith. Who will pity a charmer that is bitten with a serpent, or any such as come nigh wild beasts? All right, and that serpent is on the loose, man. All right, let's go to Psalms 52 in verse 2. It says, thy tongue deceiveth mischiefs, like a sharp razor working deceitfully. Thou lovest evil more than good. And we know that throughout his whole course of power, of rulership, all right, that he's loved evil, man. All right, there has not been one time where he ruled in righteousness. Okay, if he doeth good, he doeth unwillingly, as the scriptures say. Verse 3, thou lovest evil more than good, and lying rather than to speak righteousness. Thou lovest all devouring words, O thou deceitful tongue. The Most High shall likewise destroy thee forever. He shall take thee away and pluck thee out of thy dwelling place, and root thee out of the land of the living. Selah. See that? So all the things that he's doing, all right, he's bringing it upon his own head, okay, by being deceitful, by working mischief, okay, all the bloodshed that he's causing. All of these things are going to return upon his own head, man. All right, so yeah, we see this devil cranking up, and yeah, he getting his shit done, man. He bringing in prophecy. So-called Lord Yahweh Shem Yahushai for that, man, for putting the spirit in this devil, all right, to speed this thing up. Okay, ultimately the Lord is speeding it up. Okay, pursuant to Revelation 12 and 12, we know that he's, short on time. Time is not on his side, and they're beginning to understand this. That's why you see them moving at the pace that they're moving. Right, that's why you see them getting sloppy. It's because they're moving rapidly, man. They're trying to usher in this new world order. They're trying to usher in the MOTB. Okay, these are the things that we're waiting on so we can get the hell up out of here. Lord willing, we be part of that number. All right, but these are the enchantments, all right, that this devil is continuously working on the left-hand side, man, to try to keep, the narrative in check. Okay, so, and we can't be ignorant of his devices, man. Okay, this is Isaiah chapter 47 and verse 8. It says, therefore hear now this, that thou that art given to pleasures, that dwellest carelessly, that sayest in thine heart, I am, and none else beside me. I shall not sit as a widow, neither shall I know the loss of children. But these two things shall come to thee in a moment, in one day, the loss of children and widowhood. They shall come upon thee in their perfection for the multitude of thy sorceries, and for the great abundance of thine enchantments. All right, the sorceries and the enchantments is what this devil has been working this whole while, man. When you see these different false flags, when you see these different manufactured scenarios, where you're seeing synagogues get shot up, when you're seeing people get deleted, when you're seeing mass shootings, these are sorceries, man, enchantments. All right, these are things that are strategically set up to push a certain narrative, man, so that these devils can be justified when they make their next move. All right, they're trying to make their next move their best move, but their best moves are looking like rookie moves, man. All right, they moving sloppy. This is verse 10. For thou hast trusted in thy wickedness. Thou hast said, none seeth me. But we see you, bitch. We see you, man. You can no longer hide. Jeremiah 24 and 23. Can any hide himself from the Lord? Okay, Jeremiah 49 and 10. I have made Esau bare. So we see you, man. The things that you used to be able to get away with, you can't get away with it no more. All right? And that's because the nations are sobering up. The enchantments are wearing off. All right, that's a title of a lesson right there. As the nations sober up, the enchantments are wearing off. All right. It says, thy wisdom and thy knowledge, it have perverted thee. All right. Because he have boosted himself up in the knowledge that he has. The knowledge on how to execute, raging war. The knowledge on how to overtake a land, how to overtake a people, how to oppress a people. All right. The knowledge of these things have perverted them, man. It said, and thou hast said in thine heart, I am, and none else beside me. All right. That's that God complex. He feel like he's the Almighty. He feel like he cannot be stopped. All right. But Yahweh Shem Yahushai is about to bring him down, man. Okay. He doesn't even care that people are on to him. People are not falling for these false flags like they used to. Shit, almost every time somebody sees something on the mainstream media, they question it, man. Because the reputation of this devil is starting to be, recognized, man. Everybody knows him for a liar, especially the tiny tops. The world is on their ass, man. Verse 11, therefore shall evil come upon thee. Thou shalt not know from whence it riseth, and mischief shall fall upon thee. Thou shalt not be able to put it off, and desolation shall come upon thee suddenly, which thou shalt not know. And the reason they're not going to know it is because that destruction is going to come from their own allies, okay? In that time, they're not going to be allies. Because these different nations, they see that America is going to get them into some shit, okay? It's already risky that the U.S. has set up different garrisons and different military bases in these different lands, man. And these military bases are being targeted by Iran, all right? So these nations are going to come to realization that, the tiny tops in the U.S. are going to get them in trouble. So they're going to cut ties from them, all right? And then they're going to put themselves in array against Babylon the Great. Everybody's going to realize that they have one common enemy, all right? The common problem of the world is the U.S., man, and the tiny tops, okay? And they're going to band together, and they're going to destroy Babylon the Great utterly, all right? So that's why Babylon the Great is not going to know whence it cometh and from where, all right? Missiles going to be a shot from the ends of the earth, man, all right? Verse 12, it says, stand now with thine enchantments and with the multitude of thy sorceries, wherein thou hast labored from thy youth. If so, be thou shalt be able to profit. If so, be thou mayest prevail. All right, these devils are not going to prevail over the judgment that Yahweh Shem Yahushai has lined up for them, man. Okay, so it's good to know, all right, that all the shit that they're doing right now is going to come to naught, man. All right, look at this shit. This is what they wanted. Okay, they wanted this to be the narrative right here. So this is going to call for many things. One is going to call for them to crank up on Iran. Okay. Two, this is going to cause for them to call for that digital ID. Them wanting to have everybody documented, have everybody tagged in the States. So we're seeing this devil move fast. Call Lord Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Hey, we're getting ready to see a lot more shit here in 2026, all right? It just got started, all right? But I'm going to end this lesson by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Shem Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rachak Wadah, see you Akim, and you Afwaf on the next lesson. Lord willing, Shalom, Wa, Abba, Babal.